Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Pokemon Blaze Black 2. Last time we explored the Great Cave, Mistralton Cave. And in this episode we are going to be exploring an even greater cave, Chargestone Cave. I'm going to preface this by saying we're probably not going to get through this entire dungeon this episode because it's actually quite large, and I will admit up front that this is probably my least favorite dungeon in the game. So, without further ado, let's head on inside. Alrighty, here we are. This is Chargestone Cave. We're going to pop up our dowsing machine here, of course, and inside, right off the bat... Hey! Did you know this? If you push the floating stones, they move. As always, this place is charged with lots of electricity that Pokemon like. The electric charges react from one stone to another, so that's why there are floating stones. You can't push all of them, though. Oh, that's right, I came here to research something. Be seeing you. Alrighty, so, as you can see, the item finder is pointing to something that way, which means we cannot get to it yet. Unfortunately, there are quite a few branching paths in this dungeon that I would like to obviously explore. So it's going to get a little bit frustrating when I want to find some stuff, and we have to go down dead end after dead end. Luckily though, there are quite a few Pokemon in here that we have not yet encountered, which means we should be able to catch quite a few new members of our collection. As you can see, if you push up against one of these floating blue stones in the direction of a large blue stone, they will magnetically attract, allowing you to pass, which is very neat. Right here we have a full heal. Always nice to get something like that for free. As you can see, when you walk under these smaller floating stones, they seem to wiggle a bit, although that really doesn't have any gameplay mechanic whatsoever, so it's just a bit of an aesthetic thing. One thing I would like to point out, oh of course, since Gastrodon is so darn slow, one thing I would like to point out is if you are training a Nosepass or a Magneton, you are going to want to level it up in this area. I am training a Magneton currently, so I'm going to make sure to get a level on it before we leave Chargestone Cave. Very, very important that we do that. Anyway, right here we have our first trainer. Want to look at me? There we go. Alright, let me introduce you to the other super cool and cute member of my band. And yet she has 3 Pokemon, probably only had 1 in the original version of the game. Anyway, here we have a Coughing. Wonder if this is some sort of reject from Roxy's gym. Anyhow, Coughing doesn't have Levitate, does it? It does, darn it. Ah well, that's a little disappointing. Anyway, Chargestone Cave is probably my least favorite dungeon in the game. I'm not entirely sure why. It just usually takes way too long to get through, and it can be a little difficult to navigate, and there are a lot of trainers. You might think I'm overstating that, but I'm really not. I'm pretty sure there's at least a dozen trainers in this entire area, which is pretty insane. So we're probably going to be taking 2 videos to get through this area just because there's so much in here. It's kind of crazy actually how much they managed to cram into this one cave. Anyway, Gastrodon gets level 44, which is awesome, and now we've got an Electrode coming in. I'm pretty sure that these guys don't have Levitate. Am I correct about this? I am. Very nice. That should be it for this trainer, which is very good. Indeed it is. Alrighty. 1 down, lots to go. Anyway, as you can see, the item finder is pointing towards something up in the corner of this room. And here, we have a brand new Pokemon. This is Joltik. I believe this is the tiniest Pokemon in existence, being at only 0.1 meters tall / long. Very cool. I also really like this Pokemon because it's an electric bug type, and it's a spider. It's just a really cool idea, and we caught it in one throw, which is awesome, which means we get even more data for our Pokédex right off the bat. Since it can't generate its own electricity, it sticks onto large-bodied Pokémon and absorbs static electricity. Very neat. Alrighty, I have to wonder how long it's going to be before we fill up box 8. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, we can grab this right here, Yellow Shard. Very good. And I believe over here there is another item we can get. There is. Very good. Focus Band. I want to say that is a consumable. I'm pretty sure it's consumable. It prevents one-hit knockouts, but only randomly? I think that's how that works. Anyway, right over here, we have a rock that you can push, but it really isn't worth pushing it because there's nowhere that it opens up or otherwise by pushing it, but I'm probably just gonna push it. Just because the effect that they have for this is actually pretty cool, how it's slow and then speeds up as it gets closer. There we go. I think I want to go down this way next. Like, as you can see, there's a branch in the path, and that can get a little bit frustrating going through this area, because I can never remember which way is the way through the dungeon and which way is the way to an item or something optional. That's my main gripe with this area. Not to mention the fact that you're always going to be running into wild Pokemon. Chargestone Cave. I really like it here. Formulas express the forces behind electricity, its connection to Pokémon, and humans and Pokémon themselves. This is my ideal place. I have to go. I have to go in order to save Pokémon and protect the very friend that I have to stop. Interesting. Now, based on the fact that that was, I'm pretty sure, story required, I'm going to operate on the assumption that we have to go this way instead, which means I chose poorly. Anyway, where exactly is that item? There it is, Hyper Potion. That's very nice. And I think that's actually the only thing up here, because that rock right there has to be pushed from the other side. Sheesh. I'm pretty sure that creates a shortcut through the dungeon, which is pretty convenient. Anyway, we got a Magnemite right here. I'm very appreciative of the fact that we're seeming to run into a lot of Pokemon that we've seen before, because that means I've been doing a pretty good job of keeping up with our Pokédex catching. Anyway, yet another Pokemon that we already have. Yeesh. I don't want to throw up a repel, because if something shows up that we don't have, I definitely want to catch it for our Pokédex. Anyway, let's head across this bridge right here. And it's another Joltik. I'm sure there's more stuff that can show up in this area. It's not like this hack to only have about 4 Pokemon available in any given area. In fact, I'm pretty sure practically every area in this hack has 10 or so Pokemon in it, at least. Anyway, push this one from the top, and we may head on through this way. Aha, this is a new one. This is Clink, a Pokemon that I really like, but a lot of people don't because they call it out for being lazy. To you guys, I say you have no taste. I think this thing's hilarious. What's also hilarious is we got a second first try capture this episode, which is awesome. I will take that. 2 bodies comprised a fixed pair. They spin around each other to generate energy. Interesting thing about Clink, it can have the ability of either plus or minus. In Generation 5, they changed plus and minus to work with themselves in addition to each other in terms of powering up when paired together, which is very nice. Which means you can match multiple Clinks together, or you can match them with Plusle or Minun, which is pretty interesting. Anyway, wow, we actually have a triple battle out here in the wild. That is not something that happens every day. That's pretty awesome. And just so you know, guys, I want you to get a good hard look at this, because this right here is a lagless triple battle. This has not been seen in any Pokemon game since this game came out in 2012. Will we ever see it again? I legitimately have no idea. Anyway, I think I'm just going to go for the strength on Vaporeon because I don't think using Surf is worth it. Because Surf would actually damage Lucario in this situation. Going to blast Sawsbuck with an Aura Sphere since it is part normal type. And we are going to hit Galvantula with our fire type move. Very nice. Hopefully this will be done pretty quickly. Get our experience for that. Flame Burst hits that Galvantula, expecting a knockout. Very good. Gabite gets level 43, and Magneton does not quite get the level. We really want Magneton to get a level in this area, because this area is very special for its development, we'll just say. Alrighty, we'll hit Vaporeon with another Strength, and we'll just smack it with an Aura Sphere, and Victini really can't do anything, so we'll just do that. Man, I'm so glad we got Aura Sphere. It's such a great move. Alrighty. And Magneton gets level 43, which means this battle is going to be very important in the lore of the series, because Magneton is evolving. Congratulations, your Magneton evolved into Magnezone. Very nice. As you can probably guess, given this area's relationship to electricity, magnetism-based Pokemon will evolve in this area. Right here, special note, push the bottom stone, otherwise you won't be able to come over here and grab this. A magnet. This powers up electric-type moves, which is very awesome. As you might imagine, Nosepass is also a Pokemon that will evolve when leveled up in this specific area. Also worth noting, the music actually pitches down in this area as you get deeper into the cave, which is pretty interesting. And wow, we actually have an Electrode right here. Very nice. As you might expect, certain rare Pokemon will get slightly more common the deeper into the cave you get. So it's quite likely that when we return here to inevitably catch the Pokemon that we have missed, we are going to be heading to the lower floors of the cave, just because rare stuff tends to appear a little bit more often the lower in the cave you go. Darn it, I was hoping my luck would continue. Ah well. Second one thrown, very nice. Electrode was caught, which means we have completed yet another evolutionary line. Awesome. It is known to drift on winds if it is bloated to bursting with stored electricity. Don't ask me how that happens, considering it weighs almost 150 pounds. If it's 200 pounds of helium, it's still 200 pounds. Anyway, let's press onwards here. And even more wild encounters. Sheesh. Aha, here we have even more new Pokemon. This is Durant. This thing is pretty much the bane of my existence, because in one of the endgame areas in Pokemon Black and White, it was a prime location to grind for levels against wild Pokemon to prepare for the final fight of the game, and wow, that actually knocked it out. Yikes, was not expecting that to happen, that's awkward. But yeah, Durant was always the wrench in that plan, because aside from Durant, everything in the area was rock type. And it doesn't really give that much experience, so it was mostly just an annoyance. Hi, I'm the Nugget Man. And I'm the Nugget Boy. Glad you showed up. I want to give you this. Sweet, free nugget. I want to give you this, too. And a big nugget. The Big Nugget is pretty significant because it sells for significantly more money than a regular nugget. That's a nugget. How to get so golden without deep frying? Trade secret. Nugget about it. Oh, jeez. Localizers? That's terrible. You should feel awful for that pun. Anyway, heading right on over here, we have a staircase that actually goes back up to the first floor, which actually plops us right up here over this ledge. Don't want to hop down that ledge since we've already been to that area. What beautiful stones. Wouldn't it be lovely if I could have such pretty gems on the walls of my room? And we unlock the FunFest mission, Find Mysterious Ores. I'll live here. From today on, my home will be here among the beautiful stones. Very nice. Can we get to that without a wild encounter? We can. What actually is this? I do not know. Drill burn. Pretty sure we already have this. Yes, we do. That's unfortunate. I was hoping it would be something new, but alas, it is not. Alrighty. I believe you are a trainer, so let's fight you. I am a Pokemon Ranger here to gather up some electric power. Good goal in life. Anyhow, let's see what you got. 2 Pokemon. Doesn't sound too terrible, one of which is Tropius, which could be a bit awkward for Gastrodon since it is not very well affected by Surf and it is not affected at all by Mud Bomb, so let's just hit it with Strength and see what happens. Yeah, that's not too terribly good. Plus, if this thing decides to pull out a Grass-type move, we are going to be in a lot of trouble. So I think what we are going to do is we are going to switch to Victini. Alrighty, yep, there it is, Magical Leaf. Wouldn't want to get hit by that with Gastrodon. That would not be fun at all. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to blast this thing with a Flame Burst. Very nice. Alrighty. Even more experience, and up next is Heatmore. Heatmore is interesting because, believe it or not, this thing actually forms a sort of duo with Durant. But unlike a lot of duos in the Pokemon series, there is a clear winner right here. We indeed have an Anteater and Ant pairing. Heatmore is pure fire, and Durant is bug steel, which means Heatmore has a quad super effective advantage on Durant. In fact, when we eventually get the ability to catch this thing, it makes mention of this fact in the Pokedex, and it's pretty gruesome, to be perfectly honest. Alrighty. Making a lot of money from these guys. Take this. And we get a Chesto Berry. Very good. Not much we can really do with it, unfortunately, since we can't plant berries in Generation 5, but it's nice to have nonetheless. Of course, yet another Voltorb, which we already have. That's a little bit awkward. So as you can see, we're already 20 minutes or so into this episode, and we are not even halfway done with this dungeon, I don't think, although I'm pretty sure this nearly completes our exploration of the first floor, at least, which is nice. And of course, Magnemite. Come on, can't you throw something new at me, game? I'd really appreciate it. My Pokedex really could use the data. Sometimes I think I'm crazy for deciding to try doing a full Pokedex run of this game, but man, we're gonna do it. God dang it. Alrighty. Here we are, down on the lower floor once again. Ah, another Durant. Let's see if we can not screw up trying to catch this thing this time. Meaning, definitely not going to use Surf. Strength will definitely be a better choice in this scenario. Yeah, if that knocked out, I would have been incredibly surprised, because Durant resists Strength, and we don't even get Stab off of it. In fact, that's probably why Surf knocked out. That's probably because it had Stab on it. That's a little frustrating. Oh well, we're getting our rematch right here, and we are going to emerge victorious. Alrighty, let's see if we can catch it. There we go. Can never get a critical capture when I really want one. Oh well. Individuals each play different roles in driving Heatmore, their natural predator, away from their colony. Interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. I really like this idea for a Pokémon, even though the Pokémon itself kinda drives me up the wall whenever I have to fight it. Anyway, heading further through here, we have a Dust Cloud and... oh wow, it's actually Dugtrio. Not what I was expecting, but okay, I will take that. This is yet another Pokemon we don't have, and I really don't feel comfortable attacking this thing with my Lucario. Nuts to it. Let's try Dragon Pulse and pray we don't knock this thing out. Yep, so that happened. Shouldn't have second-guessed that. Oh well, there's going to be way more dust clouds before we're done with this area. Watch that be like a 5% encounter. Which way do we want to go? Let's go this way. Oop, there's actually an item right here. Very interesting. Ultra Ball. Definitely appreciated. Aha, this guy. We definitely want to fight this guy. I'll battle Pokemon even if I can't find a pulse. What? As you might imagine, this is another one of those doctor characters in the game. Once you defeat him, he will heal up your Pokemon, and I think that is something we should definitely be interested in, especially considering that Durant Metal Clawed my Gastrodon to death. So let's just sweep away his team and get that free healing, because I definitely need it. Lucario gets level 63, wowee. It's crazy how high-leveled Lucario is. And up next is Leavanny, which means we're probably going to want to switch out to a Pokemon that can deal super effective damage against it, as you might imagine. Alrighty. Air Slash seems good. Quad weakness, this should definitely bring it down in one shot. Very good. Almost level 44 on Mandibuzz, which is awesome, and ooh, we got Blissey coming out here, folks. This should be interesting, because Blissey, I believe, has the highest experience yield of any Pokemon in the entire game. Luckily, its physical defense is absolutely garbage, which means Force Palm should bring it down quite quickly. Very good. Make sure to remember that its physical defense is what is low, because its special defense is sky high. Very good. We have won. I may have lost the prize, but I'll still make your Pokemon healthy and hardy. Very good. To make people healthy, doctors go where they are needed. Now, I believe it would be valid of me to consider this rest stop, as it were, to be the halfway point of the dungeon, which is pretty good since this episode has been going on for nearly 25 minutes. Not entirely sure how long that cut with Durant was, but I think this is probably a good place to stop. So, this past episode we made our way roughly halfway through Chargestone Cave and captured, I want to say, 4 Pokemon, which is very awesome. And next time on Pokemon Blaze Black 2, we are going to be concluding our exploration of Chargestone Cave and hopefully catching even more Pokemon. So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.